Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Johnson from the Employee Assistance Program with Parkview Health. And today I have my friend and colleague, Heather Burgett, who is the Employee Financial Educator with Parkview and is very passionate about a topic that I think connects really well to mindfulness. It has to do with money. And I know, Heather, you've also written a book. You're the author of the book, Unlock Your Why, 7 Keys to a Thriving Relationship with Money. Tell us a quick bite about yourself and how you got passionate about this relationship with money.
After grad school, I just had a lot of debt and just continued to make unwise choices with my money in an effort to rescue myself. And so I was making headway and then ended up meeting my husband who, we kind of had this conversation of, could we do things different? Could we make it better? Could we somehow, have a life that isn't like constantly struggling paycheck to paycheck?
Yeah.
Ended up taking us about 5 years to pay off over $75,000. And once we did that, we built up our emergency savings. And through that time, we were very open and honest about the journey that we were on and realized, wow, other people really enjoyed talking about this too. Money can be a private thing, but it encouraged us and kept us motivated to be talking about it with other people. So, as my journey and then writing the book a couple of years ago, I wanted to share that and also help people come to grips with the relationship, healthy or otherwise, that they had with money, to help them think about that through journaling questions and sharing my own journey very vulnerably. People really found they resonated with my story in different parts of it, and were like, wow, I can't believe someone is saying these things out loud about themselves, and she's not in that place anymore, so maybe there is hope for me. So I really like to bring that to someone that I'm working with and create that hope for them and kind of help them cast a vision for, I could do better with this.
What are some of the stressors that people are experiencing that you're coaching?
It can be lack of savings. So they can't respond to an emergency with savings. They have to utilize a loan or credit of some kind. Lack of a plan, through a budget or otherwise. No money is coming in and out, but they're not quite sure where it's all going. And they haven't decided, this is what I'm going to do with my money this month. Not enough income and too many expenses. Some of that can be whittled away and kind of temporarily canceled, or, some of those extra things that may not feel extra, but truly they are, they're not essential to your life. And looking for ways to increase their income. There's ways they can do that as a Parkview coworker or their other employer, or, a side hustle, or, their spouse or partner finding a way to make income while at home.
You've expanded on this notion of community and the power of being in a community. What does that mean?
We all kind of went through this process of realizing, gosh, I'm really used to connecting to my coworkers, and now I'm working at home, or not being able to connect to my faith community in person. So we all kind of lived through that and realized on a greater level how important it is to be with people. And we do use community and other areas of our lives that we're trying to make change. And there has been for years, a stigma, and, the 3 things you don't talk about, and money being one of them. And so, but I think it's been a disservice to our culture to not talk about money. So you see it in like the lack of personal finance education starting in the high schools, and it just goes on up. And there's just this assumption that if you know how to earn money, you know how to spend money or save money. Having community helps bring education. It helps you realize, I'm not the only person who maybe is struggling paycheck to paycheck, or I'm not the only person who has a good chunk of student debt and I want to get it paid off, but how in the world do I break that down? It just feels so big. And maybe it's just one other person. Maybe it's a group of people. Maybe it's a class that you take. But any of those ways that you can build some community around that goal, and just having that conversation can really, really increase your awareness and just your understanding as well of personal finances.
I see that framework of mindfulness, of waking up, of helping people to hit the pause button.
Mhm.
My mama taught me to take a slow, deep breath and count to 10 before I would say or do something I would later regret.
Mhm.
And so the umbrella of being able to be present and slow down and be more intentional and attentional.
The act of budgeting, or sometimes I just call it cash flow panning, because we have these mind blocks when we hear the term budget. So I say, call it whatever you want. That is a mindful act to take at least once a month, if not more than that. Look at the money that's coming in and where is it going? Why is it going where it's going? Do you really want it to go there? Groceries, restaurants, things like that is often the hardest category for people to figure out, how much am I actually spending in that area? Maybe it's just online shopping, it's different for people. So paying attention, that's what a budget helps you do. It helps you pay attention to where your money is going. You know, in a world where you kind of feel tossed around sometimes by things, by circumstances and things around you, to take control and say, this is where my money is going to go. And it's going there because I want it to do this. I always tell people, like, I've given you several things, or, you know, there's so much to do. And maybe you feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm at the bottom. I'm not even sure where to start. There's always one thing you can do. Maybe for you, that's checking your bank account balance today. Maybe it's opening your bills. Maybe it's answering the call to the debt collector and like starting that conversation to see if you could improve something. Maybe the one action today is calling me, setting up an appointment so that we can start to work through your personal finances. Maybe it's sitting down and talking with your partner and saying, you know, do we want better? Could we do different? So yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate your thoughts today, Heather. And I know that you've provided a wealth of information on your blogs, and I look forward to our additional conversations. I know that sometimes this waking up to noticing is very powerful, and helping people with the stress of money is also part of that journey as well. So thanks for all that you do in our community with helping people develop a more healthier relationship with money. Thanks, Heather.
Thank you so much.